and is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
And this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Welcome to Bass number 574. The boys are here with the exception of Zach, who I believe is still in the busy part of his writing season, so he will not be joining us again this week.
Mm-hmm.
But we are all here. I was regaling the guys with tales of my trip to the dentist today. Well, that was fun.
Always fun.
I just really quickly, I was amazed I was able to get in on the same day that I called them. That to me was a miracle. So that happened. And I should probably go play the lottery next. But anyway, before we get started, I wanted to ask Andy, we didn't really get to talk about this because it happened after the show last week, but your Bears got fucking screwed last week, man.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. So, we kind of started as we were starting the show, the latter half of the first half of the game, I should say, was just completely a snooze. I wasn't even watching. I was upstairs hanging out with my wife and just kind of watching whatever and just kind of following the game on Twitter. And then as the second half kind of got going, suddenly things got really interesting. So I went and put the game on, and it's just a fucking joke. Like it's always been. That's the thing, is that like this is nothing new. But again, officiating probably gave or rather took 9 points away from the Bears on Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Cost them what should have been a win. Especially that fucking taunting nonsense, which is
then the ref leaned into the Bears player. I can't think of his name, but he leaned like he was giving him a hip check as he went by.
It's
the flag on that. Come on.
And then when he asked to clarify, he just kept digging his own grave and was like, "Oh well, he was aggressively staring or something." It's just
aggressively staring.
Yeah, I'm not like.
Was the ref like he had malice in his heart? When he
well, when they like, they had a few questions and he answered them more or less, but he said, taunting is a point of emphasis this season, which is just such horseshit. I don't understand why anything should be point of emphasis. There's no reason to have any one rule have more weight than another.
No,
like in the manner of roughing the passer. Another joke.
Well, like roughing the passer has been a joke for years now, where you can't even breathe on the quarterback or else you'll get flagged. But like the whole thing, like why is taunting a point of emphasis? Like why is taunting even against the rules necessarily? Like I mean, let's just be honest about it. Who the fuck cares? Well, it's such a like. Why is it even against the rules?
Well, as far as what I was getting at with the roughing the passer, it's like so Justin Fields gets blatantly hit from behind, no call, and when asked about it, he said, "Well, rookies, we just don't get those calls." Mm-hmm. And it's like that's not an excuse. It shouldn't matter,
right?
But as far as taunting goes, it's very clear why taunting is a thing. Taunting is completely subjective. So if, and again, this is really gross thing to speculate. I feel like such a meatball dumbass fan when I say this stuff. But with the NFL's new ties into all this legal gambling stuff, taunting is just, it feels to me like a very...
It means to put the finger on the scales a bit.
Just to kind of control a little bit of the scoring. And I mean, if the referees took the Steelers, I think it was Steelers -5. So I guess if they wanted the game to stay within 5 points, which they accomplished, they would let the Bears lose by 5 points or more. I'm not great with the whole gambling business, but there would be a financial benefit overall, and that's the thing about gambling is it's fucking, shady as shit when you the higher up you go. Anyway, it's just, but at its very least, it's just another bullshit thing that officials can do to kind of steer the game and make it more competitive.
I mean, the joke has always been that you could call holding on every single play if you wanted to, and this is just more of that.
Well, and there were other calls that they completely screwed up. Like they were trying to do this illegal block thing, and it was like it to the tight end box was the blocker left the tight end box. He didn't make contact with the guy to have the illegal block even be rendered illegal because he didn't touch the other player.
Mm-hmm.
But they let the call stood. So it's just like, make up your fucking mind. But I mean, the thing is though, the Bears don't get a lot of sympathy nationally.
No, they don't.
And but almost universally, from Packers fans to any franchise that hates the shit out of the Chicago Bears or think they're a joke ass franchise, they know the score of what happened last week, and it was complete bullshit, and nothing will ever come of it.
Going back to the taunting thing for a minute, this is what drives me nuts about it. Okay, you coach these guys all week to come out like ravenous fucking dogs onto the field, right? And then once they're out there, they have to act like they're playing chess, which is just silly to me. I mean, they get fired up on the sidelines. They have the big circle and, go out and do whatever and 1, 2, 3 team and all that. They're constantly riled up. And then you go, oh, and by the way, once you make a play, you have to go, well, jolly good old boy, and just move along. I mean, what the fuck? Come on.
Well, like in terms of stuff like taunting or excessive celebrations, I never understood why these are penalties. Like, I mean, not to get all XFL on everyone, but like, let's like this should be fun, right? Like, it should be fun for the fans and it should be fun for the players. And if some guy makes an awesome play and he wants to fucking make a show about it, let him. Like penalties should be one, either to make the games like things that are penalties, things that are outlawed should be outlawed because they make the game unsafe, or they provide like a really unfair advantage. And penalties against taunting and penalties against excessive celebration are neither.
Well, I'm just trying to think of a game that was ever swung on a guy pointing his finger at the bench. I mean, when did that ever happen? Did it ever happen? Well, I mean, before this year, before they started calling it, because now, and you're going to see it, we've still got 9-10 weeks of the season left.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see it where a team is going to lose a game. Well, we saw it already with the Bears. What the fuck am I talking about? We've already seen it. But that's not going to be the last time you're going to see this, where a guy is going to get called for taunting, and it's going to give somebody a first down and end up costing them a game.
Yeah.
And that taunting call on the Bears player was fucking ridiculous. Yes, he was looking at their bench, but you know what? So what?
Well, check this out. So after the play, so if you watch the play, this guy, he's a veteran traveling guy who's been on like 10 different teams.
Yeah, it was about the Bears practice squad, right?
Yeah, moved up that day. He gets a sack. He does this like sweet ass ninja kick celebration. Cool. No flag on that. He then stares at the opposing bench for like 3 seconds as he's walking backwards towards the Bears bench. Then the official rear hip checks him, and then he gets a flag for taunting. And I don't understand the logic behind it at all. But the thing is, though, in these same games, in the same league, in the same season, you have guys who, after an interception or a pick six, the entire defense goes in the end zone and they're kayaking.
Yeah, that's fine. But somebody looking at the bench is a problem.
I think they've actually instructed players that it's okay to do it towards the fans on either end zone. And I mean, I don't know what the hell the difference could possibly be, but I thought I heard that somewhere. It might have been Rich Eisen, maybe. I don't remember.
If you look at the NFL's rule book regarding this stuff, sorry to cut you off, Greg.
No, go ahead.
If you looked at all the NFL's taunting and unsportsmanlike conduct, pass interference, and all the sort of vague rules, it would all look like a giant bowl of spaghetti. And there's no real, but this and if that and all these conditions, it doesn't make any sense. And I was watching a clip earlier, I think it was from a college game, where a very vague rule was incited that there was 2 seconds left.
I saw this, yeah.
Yeah, so if you snap the ball with 2 seconds left, he took a 3-step drop and then spiked it to stop the clock. But apparently, according to some obscure rule, that is a penalty of some sort, and it renders so much time off the clock. Something to that effect. It was one of these like vague head scratcher rules that got violated.
I would argue it was made up on the spot. What the way I understood it was, in order to spike the ball, there has to be more than 2 seconds left on the clock. Okay, why?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, why is that? What? I don't even get that. But one of our members from the boards, Bring Back the Vet, always he skirts right around, coming right out and saying that the games are fixed. But he always says, if you were going to fix a game, this is. Sometimes you like the Bears game. I mean, my goodness. I'm not going to say that game was fixed because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if I was going to fix a game, I wouldn't have done a goddamn thing differently.
Well, the thing about it is that there are 2 games that have given me, it's fixed vibes. And they both involved the Bears, although the first one, the Bears actually benefited. It was that Calvin Johnson no catch.
Was that against the Bears?
Yeah.
That was years ago. Was that the first the first mention, like national mention of the finishing the act of a catch?
Yes. Where Calvin Johnson caught the ball in like a last second touchdown to give the Lions the win over the Bears, and then he caught it, he fell down onto his back, was holding it in the end zone, and then he rolled over and put the ball down. And they're like, oh, well, he hadn't finished the act of catching when he put the ball down, therefore it's not a catch.
No, Mike, he never even let go of the ball. He pushed his hand down on the ball to get up.
Oh, right.
He never let go of the ball at any point.
So that game and then this game, or the 2 games that I've seen where I have really gotten this is some fixed bullshit vibes. And I know there are fans out there, maybe some of our listeners could go oh, what about this game? What about that game? And yeah, no, there have been absurdly bad calls before. There have been absurdly bad calls that have cost teams games before. But with all of it, it's with all of it, it just doesn't hit me the same way. Most other cases, it's yeah, that's a shitty call, but I understand how you could come to this conclusion. With this game and that Calvin Johnson game years ago, these are the 2 where I'm this is straight up just nonsense.
I think too that you can make the argument that maybe they're not. I've made this argument numerous times on the boards. I think I brought it up on the show too. I don't know that they're necessarily fixing the game, but you can certainly call a game in favor of a team and give them an extra advantage where you're not actually, you are in an indirect way influencing the outcome, but you're not taking away plays. You're going, well, today when the Lions play the Steelers, we're going to call more holding penalties on the Lions and the Steelers. And the Steelers seem to get all the damn calls. And I'm not saying that as a Browns fan. The Cowboys get a lot too. I know the Packers get their fair share on top of that. But it just seems to me that at times it sure looks like, and again, what you see doesn't necessarily mean that's it's happening, but there are times it really looks like you just go, man, you've got this team is out there the Bears they're not playing the 11 Steelers, they're playing the 11 Steelers plus the 7 officials. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how you win like that. And sometimes teams still overcome it, but it just makes it tough.
Well, it's okay, guys, because the player was Cassius Marsh. The NFL fined him for his taunting, so he's been fined.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they fined him nearly $6,000.
Oh, for Pete's sake!
For staring at the sideline.
Yeah. Now he was apparently, and this is according to Tom Pelissero in the Draft Report. Privately, members of the NFL's officiating department who reviewed the game acknowledged that Tony Corrente and his crew aired on at least 3 separate critical calls and non-calls that went against the Bears. So
imagine that.
But privately, so whatever the fuck
that's
that means.
Another thing too. There's really no accountability for these guys. I mean, they always they bring them in and we grade them and all that. But yeah, but
you know how he's going to get punished by being the crew for the noon AFC wildcard game.
Yeah, and he might not get to
the Saturday afternoon game or something.
Yeah, right. Or he might not get to do the playoffs or the Super Bowl, whatever. He'll still be out there calling games and still be out there making bad calls. And I mean, it's like
Honestly, you want to know what I think? I've thought this should be a thing for a while, and they're never going to do it. And this isn't even just necessarily the NFL. I think this should be across sports. Officials put them out in front of the media after the game. Just like you do with the coaches and the players, right? Like, put the officials out,
Tony Correnti did. He did. So the Chicago media, one of the Chicago media, I think it was very limited, but Correnti did get questioned by the Chicago press, and that's where he gave those bullshit answers. Mm-hmm. They had to be very specific with their questions. There was something very unusual. But I do think you can be requested to from the media to as an official.
I'll just say too that for anybody listening that thinks, well, this is just a wild, there's no way that a game could be fixed by an official. It happened in the NBA. The Tim Donaghy guy, so it's not like some abstract concept here.
It happened. It can happen, and again, this is already we already mentioned this, but like the NFL is now tied in with legal gambling apparatuses.
Yeah, and how much money do you think that's good for a week?
Yeah, and so like there's a reason why for the longest time sports, pro sports wouldn't go anywhere near gambling, right? Because when you have that association, you then have doubts that every bad call now brings up that question, and for a long time, I think sports were right to steer clear of that. I guess they've just finally decided that the cash is worth more than the hit to their reputation.
I just find it difficult to believe that, and maybe I hope I'm wrong about this, but when you've got billions of dollars in a half legal, half not legal industry, I find it difficult to believe that there's not a little bit of shenanigans going on here and there. If it was straight on the up and up, regulated and all that, I'd say maybe not, but come on. This is for every legal betting site like FanDuel or whatever, how many bookies are out there running around the bars? Come on. I just you leave your officials open to, I don't know, influence, I guess, or whatever. It's just not a good idea to have the gambling be so like directly involved in the game, I think. But what are you going to do?
Nothing. The answer is nothing. Nothing changes.
No,
because we can sit here and complain about the officials. We have for years, just like with anything else. And the rules in the NFL have been like the officials in the NFL of all the major leagues have been the most scrutinized and the most controversial, I would say, give or take a moment here or there. But the NFL just keeps getting bigger and growing. And every time it's positive, is the bubble going to burst? The answer is no, it's not.
No.
And I wanted to get your input on this. And Mike, when Mike's taking a brief leave of us, he'll be back in a minute. So I read something the other day, and I'll find the article here after I bring it up. But the NFL, their goal is apparently to expand to 38 teams. Wow. And that, as soon as I saw that, I was baffled because 32 already feels like a lot.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have the XFL/CFL merger thing, whatever. And I got to find that article here. But it just feels like, when is enough? 38 teams, and they wanted one of them to be in London.
God.
And I think one in Canada as well. The London one is just absolutely fucking ludicrous. I don't know how you make that going.
My question would be, and we've seen this, we saw it with the AAF, we saw it with the XFL. Is there enough talent out there that isn't on an NFL roster to make up 6 new teams? And I get you're going to get some veterans from the expansion drafts and all that, but really? I mean, are there 6 NFL level teams worth of talent sitting out there right now just waiting for a chance? I don't think so. The guys that can play, they get to play. And the guys that don't, they play in the XFL. Now, sometimes you get a crossover guy like Dearness Johnson of the Browns was an AAF guy, and the dude that quarterbacked the Panthers on Sunday was in the XFL. But let's not kid ourselves. The 35th guy on an XFL roster is not making an NFL team. And that's my concern with the expansion, because Could the NFL pull off 38 teams? Probably, because it's this behemoth that's just out of control. But where are you going to find the players? I guess is my question.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't think that you're good. Well, the thing is, you would find the players, but the game is going to get shittier.
Yeah, well, good players, I should say. Yeah, good players.
Okay, I can't find this article. Maybe I had a fever dream or something where I made this shit up. But I swear to God, I read that they were plotting for a 38 team league. I don't know. If I find it, I'll throw it up on our Discord or something. But I don't know.
Where would we put I mean, okay, you got London, which is a horrible idea, but all right. And we'll say Toronto or Vancouver, Montreal, somewhere in Canada. Where are you putting the other 4? Mexico City, maybe? I mean, what I don't know, but what, like, say 4 markets in the U.S. could support an NFL team right now?
Yeah.
I don't know who it would be. I mean, you got 2 teams in Los Angeles, one that no one even cares about. So I just don't understand it.
All right. So I lied. It was 36 teams. So it'd be, which is still too many, 18 in each conference. Let me see. And this is from, it was from Albright. I can't remember his first name. Albright NFL is this. They want to get to 18 games for the season, 18 regular season games, 36 teams, and London, Toronto, San Antonio, and possibly St. Louis, which I find hilarious that St. Louis is an option.
So they get a third try at this now? Is that how that's going to work?
I guess. Benjamin Albright. That's what it is. He speculated this on the radio the other day. But London is a joke. You're not going to get a team in London. It's just not going to happen. I don't know why they
the Players Association going for it.
Well, I mean, just from a logistics standpoint, if you have a fucking franchise in London, their travel schedule is trash. No one's going to want to sign there unless there's some insane tax benefit or something. I just don't know why that'll ever succeed. It shouldn't be a thing. That they keep trying and floating this London thing. It's never going to happen. They have to be in the continental United States. And even then, even in North America, it's still pretty hard to ponder. But if I'm St. Louis and I hear about this, I almost just want to give the middle finger, because it's like what you're going to give it to St. Louis and then, you're just going to take it away again when it's convenient.
That's what I mean. St. Louis has had not one, mind you, but 2 shots at the NFL, and they failed both times. I think that's it. I don't know that what's going to be different about the third team that the other 2 didn't get right. The Rams won a Super Bowl while they were there.
Yeah, and they had a stretch of success for a good decade or so.
Yeah, it's a baseball town, and we all know it's a baseball town because they won't shut up about being a baseball town.
It's kind of like Atlanta in hockey. You just can't go back there again. No, it's just not going to work.
No, I mean the NHL after the Flames and then the Threshers, they're not going to go, hey, let's give Atlanta one more crack at this.
Hell no. It's just not. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't. But then again, it's just this. Maybe it's kind of like maybe I'm getting older to where like when it comes to the NFL. I haven't been a like, oh, I can't wait for football. Like every time, like, August comes around in preseason, there's some people who just like, they just literally start masturbating, just thinking about football and just like, oh yeah, I fucking love football. God, Jesus, fucking Christ. And then it's just like, they set aside the entire day of Sunday, most of Saturday and Monday night, and Thursday night, they watch like it's this addiction.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people like that. I should say I used to. I don't anymore.
Where do these people find the time? First of all, and how does anybody how do they have lives? I mean, it just blows my mind that people cannot get enough of it. And it's just when the Browns were good in the 80s, man. I mean, it was like maybe that was part of it because they were good, but it was like it was this close to being a religion. I mean, you dropped everything. Like you could walk around the streets of Cleveland or anywhere in Northeast Ohio on a Browns Sunday and pretty much do whatever you wanted because there was no one around to see it. I mean, they were all home watching the game or at the game or whatever. And I think age has a lot to do with it because as I've gotten older, it's like I enjoy it. I'm not going to lie, but I don't sit and go, I can't wait for Sunday. It's like if I'm not doing anything on Sunday, I'll sit down and watch. But it does not become this thing where I have to watch. And I won't leave the house because the games are on and all that. So you kind of just age out of it, which is, I think, the plan, actually. I think that's the way they see it, and they expect that. Yeah.
Not everybody does, but a lot of people do.
Well, with the Browns' heyday back then, that was also still in the era of appointment television. You know,
Right?
like,
Exactly.
it was, and plus it was just like the peak of Sundays as the NFL like owning the day of the week.
Yep.
Now they want to own the entire week.
Yeah.
And it feels so greedy to me. You know, like I feel so inconvenienced when the Bears play on a Monday or Thursday. I get it. Mondays sort of become this special thing, and it has been for, you know, whatever, 50 years or whatever it's been. But the Thursday thing is just laughable at this point. I fucking hate Thursday night football.
Well, you know, with Monday Night Football, when it first started, it was basically you got your local game. If there was a doubleheader, you got another game on Sunday, and that was it. There were no highlights from all over the place, no ESPN to go to. So Monday night was a huge deal because it was another game you got to watch. And then as cable became more prolific and all that, it, you know, obviously a lot of the buzz wore off. But at this point in the game, you know, we've talked about it numerous times on here that the Thursday night game, you've got 2 days a week where there's only 2 consecutive days in the week where there's not an NFL football game. Twice. It's like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday, Saturday. And the rest of the time, it's all NFL all the time. It's all NFL all the time anyway, but yeah, they're going to oversaturate it. It's too much of a good thing, I think.
I don't think they'll change anything. They've planted their flag and they've said, "Hey, listen, we're doing this, and this is how it's going to go." I mean, if anything, Thursday would go, but essentially be one of those things where they'd simply table it until they felt like it was time to bring it back. But I mean, it's not
until the network gives them a big check to do it again. Yeah, then it would come back.
Like, what do you think it would take for the NFL to actually get hit really hard with a ratings thing? Like, they have, because I don't think that the talent pool will ever necessarily dry up. I don't think the ratings will just organically go down from disinterest. I'm trying to think of if there was like, there would have to be some sort of major event that would sour people on the whole from thinking the NFL is cool. And I don't know.
I used to think it would be a player dying on the field.
that improves the ratings.
I was going to say, but now I think that would actually make more people watch.
Oh yeah, I mean, if Bill Belichick went on ESPN Saturday and said, "I'm going to bring a rifle to the game on Sunday, and I'm going to shoot another player on the opposing team,"
I know I'm tuning in.
People would be like, you know, I kind of want to see this just to make sure this happens. You know,
right? Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't know what the breaking point would ever be.
Then I thought maybe like a Penn State style scandal with one of the teams, but we saw with Penn State, to that fan base, it wouldn't make a bit of difference.
No,
we might not like that team anymore, but they don't care. You know, so,
I mean, like if every owner and every starting quarterback and every starting quarterback, if every starting quarterback in the league was exposed as a like prolific criminal pedophile, maybe that would bring the ratings down.
You know what would happen? You'd be like, well, I guess it's time to go on to Case Keenum or Jordan Love or you know, Trey Lance or whoever the number 2 guy is. It's the NFL it's a weird fandom because you'll allow a lot of things. I mean, look at the guys, and I'm sure we've all had players on all of our teams where you go, well, it's our guy, so maybe what he did. I mean, one comes to mind right immediately for me, Kareem Hunt. He got cut by the Chiefs because he allegedly, or maybe did, I don't know, I can't remember what the court case said, but they beat the shit out of a woman. And I'm like, wow, that's bad. Now, you know, and then he comes to the Browns. It's like, well, maybe it's not. I mean, I don't think it's not so bad. It's still bad, but you go, well, you know what? He's a pretty good running back, though. You know, I mean, a lot of people do that. So I don't know what it would take at this point. I mean, a big cheating scandal, like a gambling thing where we find out every single game's been fixed for 5 years. That might do it, but I doubt it.
You know, that right there would maybe be pretty damning, because I think if you exposed the business in a way, if there's some sort of like a pro wrestling wink and a nod, you know, between the officials or whatever, where like there's, you know, a documented decade of referee interference to sculpt the games and create these, you know, undocumented profits. Maybe that, because essentially if you remove the veil of a competitive match and people people go into it believing that there's already a predetermined outcome. Unless it's professional wrestling, it's not going to succeed. People are going to be pretty pissed off about it. But I don't know, man. People just love their football, and they would just go to college football or something. Like it's.
I don't know that college football's. I think in some ways it's worse.
Well, no, it certainly is. But I mean, I'm just talking from like.
Right, I understand what you're saying.
Apples to apples football. They just if I can't, that football is no good anymore. I'll just go to this football. Because the craving for it is incessant and unrelenting. But
yeah, I think I don't think it could be like say they came up with hard proof that Seattle Pittsburgh Super Bowl from a few years back, 10, 15 years ago, was actually fixed. That wouldn't be enough. You'd have to have it be systemic, where every game you've ever watched for the last 5-6 years was predetermined. That might be enough. Short of that, I don't know. I mean, like I said, a guy dying on the field. Probably just going to get more people to tune in next week. It's like NASCAR and wrecks. Oh, they wrecked a bunch. I want to watch some. So I don't know, man. It's a monster out of control. And
I kind of want to. I might posit that question to the board just to see what people say. There might be some terrible answers as usual, but I mean, there will be.
Horrible answers. But yeah, so long story short, I think the Bears got screwed. The officiating's terrible.
Yeah,
and what are you going to do? But it was a shitty way to.
While we're waiting on Mike, I just want to tell you about my weekend a little bit. So,
okay,
I was in the west side of Chicago, downtown, and just it's called West Town. It's a little bit, you could see a lot of the major skyscrapers and stuff just a few blocks away. And anyway, had a great little weekend at the neighborhood. Went and saw a concert, more towards the south end, and so in movies where they have like illegal street races and drag races and shit.
Yeah.
I kind of have always pondered whether these things were real or not. I can confirm they are real. They absolutely do happen. We were outside this music venue, Radius, this new place in Chicago, and these weird cars, souped up cars with like camo paint and all this bizarre like lots of spoilers and just gunning the shit out of their engines and stuff. They all started just pouring down the street, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. They started blocking off the street and then held like drag races.
Yeah.
And it was really fascinating. I mean, somebody drew a gun and then it became not fascinating and we had to get out of there. But it was just like, oh, that's a fucking street race going on down there. Okay.
Wait, somebody drew a gun?
Apparently somebody this is an
interesting bit to come back on. Someone drew a gun. Okay.
Mike leaves during NFL officiating, comes back and does this guy drew a gun. So I was telling Greg about.
So Dan Campbell finally had enough, huh? Okay.
Dan Campbell draws a firearm. No, I saw a illegal street race or drag race occur in downtown Chicago over the weekend. Not realizing it was a real thing that actually happened, and it is. But then some people who were getting out of the show, waiting for Ubers and stuff, started walking very hurriedly up the street, saying, "Somebody's got a gun! Somebody's got a gun!" And so we just kind of turned and walked away and got the hell out of there as fast as possible. But so that was fun. That was an interesting experience. I don't want to do that again. But
who was the concert?
Concert was Alkaline Trio, War on Women, and a Bad Religion. And Bad Religion.
Wow.
Bad Religion put on a hell of a show. They were very good.
I've not heard that name in years. I love those guys.
They were one of those bands who like you listen to them on like Spotify or whatever, and you kind of know their sound, and then you listen to them live, and you're like, oh, you guys sound exactly the same. Okay, that's a good thing. You guys are like album tight as far as the way you sound. But I'm
a little surprised by that with them, honestly.
Why?
Because they hit like a punk vibe, and I just didn't expect them. I would think they'd be a little looser, a little more like, faster, and just, I don't know. I'm surprised by that.
I don't know, they played plenty fast, and I mean,
but you know what I mean, though, like, you really come out and amp it up, and that's kind of cool that they didn't do that.
It wasn't like a classic 80s punk, like Black Flag, where the guy's just like smashing the snare as fast as he can, the rest of it be damned, and just kind of everyone else is hoping to keep up while the singer leans into the crowd and starts punching people. Like it was just like, there's a couple documentaries I've watched on, I'm not a big fan of 80s punk, but if you watch some of the stuff on, Black Flag and those kind of bands, they're just, it's really just mass chaos, and it's glorious, but also one of those things to where like it has to be experienced or viewed and not just listened to, because like there was some guy who back in that era, I can't remember his name. I mean, I'm like 99% sure he's dead and died a long time ago. But his whole thing was he would walk out into the crowd. Sometimes he'd be naked, and he at one show just like squatted and took a shit among the crowd, and it's one of the coolest things. I got to find it. But he's like got the mic. He kind of looks like Louis C.K. And he's meandering through the crowd. Everyone's just like, yeah, rock, and then he just kind of squats down and shits. And everyone, and all these punkers are kind of like moving their heads like, oh, okay. Oh, that guy just took a shit like in the middle of the floor. Oh, okay. It kind of changed the vibe.
Yeah,
but
how to react to this.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But anyway, I just totally sidetracked. Anyway, fun experience in Chicago. That was my weekend. Oh,
cool. Bad Religion. I would like to have seen them. That would have been fun. I've never heard of the other two, but I know who they are.
Gigi Allen was his name. Let me see.
Oh, God, I know that name too.
Apparently, he has a number of incidents of feces. So,
you got to be known for something these days, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's imagine that where like an internet search for your name brings up multiple instances with feces. Like,
yeah, right. Not exactly what you're going. Well, maybe that's exactly what he was going for. Who are we to say? But anyway, so speaking of sports, Mike, your Buccaneers have lost 2 in a row now.
I know it's not
what the
looking
hell is
great.
going on? Yeah, what's up with that?
This whole league is so fucked. It's just.
I have no freaking idea. I don't know. Like the Saints game, I guess you could write off. It's like the Bucs and the Saints always play close. Even when they shouldn't, it's always a close game. It's one of those rivalry games, so that makes sense to a degree. But like Washington, I have no idea what the hell happened. I have no freaking idea.
The soccer workforce, man.
The soccer workforce. I don't know. Like it's just throw your hands up and go. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, that's what they were talking about this on Bill Simmons today. I'll ask you guys the same thing they were talking about. Who is like the clear-cut Super Bowl contender this year from either conference? I can't think of one.
I was gonna say the Rams until that Matthew Stafford last week had that game where it was not great. Packers maybe, but I don't know.
No, they've done it. They've done this too many years now where they just flame out in the playoffs. They're gonna have to get there before I'll even believe it.
I don't know. Like, really isn't one. Bills, but then like the Bills went up and fucking lost to Jacksonville.
Right.
Like
I think
9-6 or whatever the fuck that was. So,
well, you know what? Kansas City kind of came back to life last night.
They've not earned the benefit of the doubt.
But keep in mind too that the Cleveland Browns scored 41 points last week against a pretty good Bengals team, and then we saw what happened yesterday.
Well, I mean, the NFC, the AFC North is particularly hilarious because it seems like every week either the Ravens, the Browns, or the Bengals have some win that makes us go, oh, like this is the team to beat now. And then the next week they get blown out. Then, like the one team in that conference that we're all pretty sure sucks, Pittsburgh, is probably going to end up winning it.
Well, there we go. There's a nice segue. Speaking of that, our poor beleaguered Detroit Lions yesterday.
Well, okay, so I know some Lions fans from back in Canada, and I asked one, like, so is 0-16-1 better or worse than 0-16?
Wow.
And he answered it's better. Because now the question is, like, if the season went one more game, would that have turned into 0-17? And the answer is now no. So I guess, yeah, like we're not going to get that 0-17 season, but 0-16-1 is still in play.
Well, I think they're going to get their first win next Sunday, so they'll be all right.
They're playing the Browns?
Yes.
You think they're going to lose? You think they're going to beat the Browns?
Man, I don't know what to think of the Browns. Here's what I know exactly what I think of.
Well, you posted the Baker Mayfield process.
I'll throw. I don't want to cleave jack this, but I think this is a fair question. Of all the quarterbacks in the league, name the one you would take Baker Mayfield over right now.
Geno Smith.
Okay, but Russell Wilson's back, so we can't use Geno Smith.
Who's maybe the Saints?
Tyrod Taylor, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, whoever's quarterbacking the Saints now.
Jameis Winston, maybe.
Trevor Siemian.
No, Jameis got hurt, so he's not.
Oh,
it's Trevor Siemian, former Bronco. Trevor Siemian.
Okay.
I take Baker Mayfield over Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, me too. But
what about the 32s? Who's quarterbacking them right now?
Taylor Henneke.
Henneke still?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's tough. I might take Henneke.
I'm telling you.
I just watched Henneke, have a pretty good game against my team. I take Taylor Henneke over Baker Mayfield.
Let me ask you this, Mike. Knowing the weapons the Browns have, they've got a really good running back in Nick Chubb, and when Kareem Hunt comes back, they've got this two-headed monster in the backfield. Mm-hmm. They've got the wide receivers aren't top flight, but they're really good. So, who do you think would do better with that offense, Baker Mayfield or Taylor Henneke?
Taylor Henneke.
Me too.
Yeah.
And the thing with the Browns is that he's in his contract year. Well, they can keep him for one more year, which is if you're not going to pay him, don't make us speculate all next year. Either you cut fake bait or whatever the fuck the term is now and just be done with it.
The problem with Baker Mayfield, I think, is I don't mean to compare them in terms of skill level, but I think it's the same sort of dynamic that you had with Tony Romo on the Cowboys. And that is that, with both Tony Romo and Baker Mayfield, the teams that they played for were so desperate for a good quarterback for so long that you get this guy who's, not really good, but he's better than you've had in a while. And you just become loyal to that because it's holy shit, this is the best we've had in decades. So we gotta get this guy locked down. And I think the Browns are going to extend. They're going to pay Baker Mayfield. They're going to give him they're going to give him a nice contract because I think in their minds as a team, it's this is the best quarterback we've had. We've got to make it work somehow, and they're just going to put all their chips in that basket. I don't think they should. I don't think he's that good, but when you've got when you're in that situation, I think the Browns are just going to go. He's the best that we've got. And
let me throw this wrench in the gears because I heard him talking about this too. And I promise this will be the last thing on the Browns. We can move on, but I just think this is interesting. Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson are both going to be available next year. If you're the Cleveland Browns and you can get one of those two quarterbacks, do you do it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I don't know. As much as I hate Russell Wilson, yes. I'm not sure with Aaron Rodgers now if all of the bullshit that happened, if that might become a circus situation or he's
I don't know. No matter what happens.
Is he gonna I don't know, refuse
vaccinated again?
He's fake being vaccinated again or something. I don't know, but no, if you're just going off pure talent, I think you try to get either one of those.
I think you put Rodgers at quarterback on that team, and they're Super Bowl contenders right now.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry, Andy. Or okay, I'll go with Russell Wilson instead.
No. I don't think Aaron Rodgers. He knows exactly where he's going to go. He's going to go to San Francisco. If he doesn't get a contract with the 49ers,
to be the Trey Lance mentor for a year or two, and then that's that.
Whatever. I don't know what I think he wants to wear that uniform before he retires. I think that's just one of his things.
Well, the thing, the thing about it is that, to go back to the Bucs is that, I think Tom Brady really changed the way a lot of these quarterbacks think because it was a situation where you didn't want to be Unitas or Namath where you go to another team late in your career and it like looks wrong, and like you kind of just wind down and you're a shadow of your former self. And a lot of people thought that's what Brady was going to be with the Bucks. He was going to just be the slow wind down of his career, but he went out and he won a Super Bowl his first year of Tampa Bay. So I think that might convince a lot of guys, particularly like Rodgers, who has been very vocal about being frustrated with the Packers constantly blowing chances to get back to the Super Bowl, that it's like, I don't need to be afraid of being Unitas or Namath anymore. I can go to a team that I want to go to and make a go of it, of actually winning a Super Bowl.
You're right about one thing. He's not going to be like Unitas and Namath. He'll never be as beloved as those two were. I'll say that.
No. I was going to add Montana, but even though Montana didn't win a Super Bowl with the Chiefs, he still had some pretty good years with them. So I don't think that was really a fair comparison.
I think this is the one time I can say this too. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the 49ers and I go, whatever, Montana's still better, no one's going to argue with me, right?
No, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, I think I'm actually getting my stories mixed up. I think it was Tom Brady who was dying to play for the 49ers. He was hoping to get...
They both want to play there. Yeah.
Well, they're both from that area. So,
well, I thought it was something the matter of like Brady he basically called for San Francisco's like, you guys want to sign me? I'm the greatest quarterback ever, and they're like, nah.
They said no. Joe Montana's the greatest quarterback.
Well, right, but I mean, they didn't even like. I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure they probably didn't say, hey, listen, fuckface, we got Joe Montana, so.
You know how good that Niner team would have been with Brady? I mean, they've got solid talent. They're like the Browns. They've got a bunch of people around and a bad quarterback.
If it comes out and it's confirmed that like Tom Brady basically was like, hey, like just I will play for you for peanuts, just offer me a contract, and they turned him down, and then he went and won a Super Bowl with Tampa, that would be like the most hilarious fucking thing I've ever heard.
Well, so that already came out, and there's a book, I guess, where they so I guess, let me see. So there was it was Wes Welker, I guess, who wrote, I guess, that, I'm trying to find the meat of it here. Anyway, yeah. So the 49ers looked at Brady's age and felt the future was brighter with Garoppolo. And then they drafted Trey Lance. So, yeah. So, yeah. So anyway,
when a guy with 7 or with 6 Super Bowl rings says, I want to play for you, I don't know that you go, well, I don't know. Your backup in New England looks better, because he doesn't. But Garoppolo, to be fair, though, Garoppolo had just taken them to a Super Bowl the year prior before Brady went to Tampa, right? That was the San Francisco Chiefs Super Bowl that year. Yeah, but come on, man. I mean, you know what? I'll tell you that if Tom Brady wants to leave Tampa and come play for Cleveland for a couple of years, I'm fine with it. Go ahead. Come on in, dude.
Yeah, screw that. I'm sure he's like, it's cold, man. I played in the cold.
Yeah, well, that was smart on his part too. It was like, I'm going to go where it's warm out all the time. But yeah, I just, just to finish it up, I just think that there are a lot of quarterbacks out there better than Baker Mayfield.
But just to go to the Rams, and I know Zach's not here to brag about his Rams getting Odell Beckham Jr. and who did they get from Denver for
Von Miller?
Von Miller, yeah. So they have a wealth of riches.
No draft picks, though.
No draft picks ever. Yeah, they're completely just bankrupt of draft picks. But like, this is one of those teams to where you are going to win a Super Bowl, or I'm going to be very pissed off. The I in that sentence being probably ownership and the fans, because it's like you have this window, and the NFL windows are very meticulous and change the gentlest breeze. And before you know it, if you have like a couple injuries, and Odell's had plenty of those, and Von Miller is not exactly the healthiest guy in the world. Yeah, so the window's right now. And if you get to the fucking Super Bowl or something, and then you have Stafford just have one of those games where he just throws like 4 picks, inexplicable picks.
Right, and you got to get there first. I mean, you've got to get past. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you've got to get past Dallas or Green Bay or Tampa. Who's the other good team in the NFC right now?
I think those are it.
Arizona.
Oh, there's Arizona. Arizona.
If we saw what happened when their quarterback's not healthy this week. They got absolutely destroyed by Carolina and the return of Cam Newton.
Which I thought was kind of cool seeing Cam.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, now, Cam's back. Woot, woot.
But yeah, it's what a season. There's no, I wouldn't bet on anything right now. Thank God I'm not a gambler because I would have lost my ass at this point.
I have a quick prediction, by the way. I have a vision. Okay. Russell Wilson will be wearing a Vikings uniform. I believe. I just feel like the Vikings have soured on Kirk Cousins enough to where they will get out of that contract, trade him, whatever, and go to the other lunatic quarterback of the league in Russell Wilson. I just feel like it's a natural union of franchise and player.
That actually makes perfect sense because I think if you were going to pick a team, because the Vikings are a lot like the other teams we mentioned, like the 49ers and the Browns. They've got talent and key places. What they don't have is a guy that's consistent at quarterback that can get the most out of it. And I mean, God knows I don't like Russell Wilson. And can we all stop for a second and genuflect at the I don't know if you guys watched the game last night, but was it last night or yesterday afternoon, the Packers Seahawks game? But they made such a big deal out of that fucking asshole going through 19 hours a day of like, I don't know, like whacking off his finger or something. And it was like, and they asked him, they said, so the doctor said 6 weeks, at best. He goes, doctor said 8 weeks at best. Like fuck you. Fuck you. I don't care that you're back. You played like shit, which made me happy, but
well, no, he played like shit, and then you go, hey Russ, maybe you should have stayed out the 8 weeks.
Yeah, right, exactly. But he made it was like, oh, Russell Wilson. He worked so hard to come back and look at him. He's back 3 weeks ahead of schedule, and oh my God.
And then he played like shit.
And it's like, you know what? I don't fucking care. I just don't. Whatever, dude. You probably came back too soon, but just fuck off with all the. Look at what a competitor this guy is, and then he put that stupid Instagram video out. I'm sorry, I'm going to go off on a.
Like I don't know. Like when can Russell Wilson come out as an anti-vaxxer? Like Jesus.
He doesn't need to, man. What like we would like him less if he did that?
No, but it would be like validation. Like we told you, we told all of you. Like,
well, say the truth will out, and I think given enough time and inclination, Russell Wilson will either, whether it's like in an expose book or something like that, these stories will come out about him one way.
Like if he's not look, if Russell Wilson isn't an anti-vaxxer, then he's into something else that's like fucking weird. All right,
you absolutely know it.
Yeah. So it's just a matter. Like Andy's right. It's just a matter of time. Like there's something going on.
Yeah, it's something weird too.
We need to review. By the way, we're entering week 11 for our picks. Not going well for Greg. I'm sorry to report.
Jesus, did I miss another one?
Yeah.
So, no. As you said, if you were a gambler, you'd have like.
I thought I had a pretty easy one this week. Who did I have last week?
Vikings. You didn't know it was Vikings at Chargers, and you took the Chargers.
I took the fucking Chargers, didn't I?
Yeah.
I told you. Like, but then again, to be fair, like, I mean, it is the Vikings and they both choke game. Like, who do you?
Yeah. I mean, the joke about the Browns and the Browns and Vikings are the same team. No, what we saw yesterday were the two same teams playing each other.
The two same teams who can't kick a field goal constantly, right. Trying to give the other team the win, and one team, I guess, accidentally won. So
yeah, wow. Remember when we thought the Chargers were good like 3 weeks ago because they come in and beat the shit out of the Ravens and they were looking really solid, and now they're right back to just being the Chargers again.
Well, look, I followed that team for years. I could have told you that was all a fucking smokescreen.
Well, that's true. Boy, I tell you what, though, man, their uniforms looked good yesterday. Whoa!
Oh, like don't get me wrong, the Chargers uniforms are on point. And like, I mean, this current look is like, it's not like there are a few things I would personally tweak here and there, but I think on the whole this is like as good as it's probably going to get, and just leave well enough alone and don't ever change it.
Speaking of uniforms, I have to make an announcement really quick. I will be guest hosting my former bit on the boards, Infrared's Best and Worst of the Week, because the new guy, Bring Back the Vet, asked me to sub for him this week. So I'll be back for a 1 week.
Oh man, it's like when Brock Lesnar shows up on
Right.
WWE once in
Yeah,
a.
I'm going to be a guest host on my own show, basically.
Hey, that's all right. Now, I appreciate. I was wondering why. I think I mentioned in the past, like I always look forward to that like bit on the board.
Man, it's just
I look forward to people telling you that you're wrong because, like, oh, but the colors are nice.
Yeah,
like,
I always love that. But no, the reason I stopped doing it was mostly because when we moved this to Mondays, it's just too much.
Well,
You got to go out. You've got to pick the games. You've got to find pictures. Generally, I try to resize them all so they all fit. And it's not like it's like a 40-hour job, but it's just like some days I'm like,
and the board has a thing that resizes them for you, so you don't have to resize the actual pictures.
Really?
Yeah, you post the link and then you double click the picture and it'll give you the option to alter the dimensions and it'll just resize it in the post for you. Yeah.
See, now 2 years ago when I was still doing this, I don't think we had that. Did we?
I don't know. Like,
I don't think so.
No. I think it's a recent board update thing.
But anyway, so I'll be back for that for 1 week, and just to Kansas City and Oakland or Las Vegas. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to give anything away, but anybody that knows my list knows where that's probably going to end up. So,
and again, speaking of uniforms, just want to touch up that Leafs Flames game was just
a feast for the eyes.
That's a hockey game right there.
Yeah.
That's what a hocky game looks like. But yes, okay. So picks, Andy. Picks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to kind of since Greg is
what am I now, like 2-8?
3-7. 3-7.
Lord. Which three did I get right?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't know. But so I'm pondering. I have got 5 games here. Should now, Mike, you and I can discuss this. I am at 6-4, as is Zach. Mike is at 8-2.
Woo woo!
Would it be
title, Mike? It's in your grasp.
Would it be in good form to let Greg pick his game from these 5?
Nope, just do it the way we always do it.
No.
Okay.
We got it. This is we got to do this pure all
Right.
the way through.
And I do not want an unfair advantage. I can fuck this up all by myself. I don't need any help.
Okay, then. Greg, would you like to go first or last?
I'm going to go last this time because going first hasn't done well. Nothing's done well for me, so I guess it really doesn't much matter.
Okay, so Mike, pick for Zach. Actually, no, we'll let Zach do with the leftovers. So, Mike, for me, could you pick 1 through 5, please?
5.
All right, I am choosing between the Bengals at the Raiders.
Ooh, that's a tough game.
Raiders just lost. The Bengals lost 2, didn't they?
I think they were off this week.
Oh, they had a bye. That's right.
Yeah, but they lost last week because the Browns curb stomped them last week. Yeah,
not been looking good. Since the Bengals have had they've had a time to game plan for this one too, and the Raiders are coming off a loss. Hell, I don't know, but it is Vegas, so the Bengals fans will probably travel well. I'm going to take the Bengals in this one. Here's hoping they have a little comeback game.
they've got way more weapons on offense, I think, and the defense plays solid sometimes. So I would have gone with the Bengals in that, but we all don't by all means don't use my picks as your guide for anything.
Okay, Mike picked 1 through 4.
4.
Okay, you are choosing between the 32s and the Panthers.
Oh, that's brutal, Mike. That's brutal.
I am tempted. I mean, tempted to go. Look at what Cam Newton did, but like,
Where's it at? Is it in Carolina?
At Carolina, yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know. Cam's still broke. You know what? I just saw the 32s beat the defending Super Bowl champions. I got to go with the 32s.
Taylor Heineke all the way, baby.
Right, there you go.
This is a game that there are so many different things that this game can end up being. It could be a blowout in either direction. It could be a tight game, well played. It could be a fucking clusterfuck that's 13-3. I mean, it could be anything because these two teams are just so them. Oh, all right. Am I up?
Yeah, 1 through 3.
Let's go with 3.
All right, you are picking the New Orleans Saints at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh God. I've been doing the home team thing. Jalen Hurts looked good yesterday. Eagles are at home.
Saints just lost a close game.
It's gonna be colder than fuck probably. The Saints aren't good outdoors in the cold. I'm gonna go with the Eagles of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Why not?
Now for Zach, we've got 2 games left. So Greg, pick 1 or 2 for Zach.
We'll go 1.
All right, Zach will have to choose between the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets.
Oh wow! Speaking of games, it could be a million different things.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're starting to enter that time of year too, where, like you said, there's some places there's just going to be a shitload of rain. There's going to be that gross, like slushy snow crap. Like it's going to be unpleasant, and I don't know if it'll necessarily affect the outcome, but make for some interesting television.
Yeah, I mean, Packers game looked good with the snow yesterday. I hate snow, but it looks nice during the football game, I'll say.
For the most part, yeah.
One of my favorite highlights of all time is Wilbur Marshall with the 85 Bears running back that fumble recovery in the snow. It's just incredible, man. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, I like my football game weather stuff. I think it's, as a fan, like if I was turning on a game, just any old game, and I have no reading interest, and there's like a shitload of rain, an absolute madness, I would love it. But if I was a fan of one of those teams, I would be so distressed out because it's like this is slop. You can't do anything. It's kind of madness. I don't know. Plus the Bears, historically, people have this weird misconception that the Bears are good in cold weather. And I think they call it bear weather. And it's like, if they're literal bears and they had like, the extra padding and fur and kind of natural inclination to hibernate and whatever, then maybe I could see that happening. But the Bears like come out there and it's like they get their asses kicked in the snow and cold routinely. It is not even close. I think the record in shitty weather is abysmal.
I'm sure you guys have probably seen it over the years on NFL films, but in like was it the year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl the first time? I think it was 81. The AFC Championship game was played in Cincinnati on a weekend where it was 60 below zero with the wind chill. And I mean, it was like so fucking cold out. I mean, like I was living with my dad at this place in Toledo. The fucking heat was on like full blast. Couldn't get the place warm. And I'm like, they can't play football in this. But it was the AFC Championship. That you're on a schedule at that point. You've got to. So anyway.
How many people got hypothermia at that game? Jesus.
I don't know, man, but I bet you it was a lot. I mean, dude, I've never in my life before or since experienced cold like that. I still remember it to this day. But anyway, so NBC was doing the game. They're talking to the Bengals. Are like, well, you guys have the advantage because you're used to this. And Chris Collinsworth goes, I'm from Florida, dude. I'm not used to this at all. No. And he goes, a lot of these guys are from the South. We're not used to any of this. It's like it's going to be bad for everybody, but they still played. I'm surprised no one died. Or at least like broke in half from just being frozen, but it was misery. Look it up sometime. I think they call it the Ice Bowl 2 or something like that. But oh my god, it was just so fucking cold.
And you just imagine, like the other day I came in. I mean, it's pretty damn cold. It's like 35 degrees out here right now. And I mean, my fingers were cold, and I like bumped them on the doorknob, and I was like, God damn, that stung. That was just me bumping my hand on a doorknob.
Imagine football.
Yeah, negative 20 degrees below zero, and somebody throws a hard leather football at your hands. Just like the first time that happens, I feel like a lot of players would just be like, fuck this. This is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I could see it. Like if it's like 20 outside, or whatever, 25. Okay, you get to running around. You're going to warm up a little bit.
Yeah,
you're not warming up when it's 20 below zero. That's like the base temperature.
Especially when there's the wind chill. Especially when you're just exposed, and you can't wait to get off the field to go gather by the heater. Like it's. Let's see. Didn't Tampa Bay once have a long streak of losing games in cold weather? I would imagine they've had.
They've had many below 40 something degrees for the longest time. They finally broke it a few years ago. I can't remember. It might have been. I hate to say this. I think it might have been against the Bears, Andy. But
I think it was. I think I remember that game. I think Warren Sapp was still on the roster.
Right. Yeah.
And I think they noticed. They made a big point of it because I think the Bears were garbage at the time, and that was when they still played in the same division for some stupid reason.
Yeah. Chaos West. Do you remember the game I'm talking about? San Diego and. Cincinnati, which San Diego had a great team that year, but they just got the weather. I'm sure they weren't used to it. Good Lord. I mean, Ohio people aren't used to that shit. It doesn't happen, It's not like we're like, it's 10 below. Let's go play football. Nobody says that. They go, it's fucking cold. Let's go inside. But yeah, it's so I forget where we were at. I don't know. I totally derailed everything there. But...
No. It's we were finishing up our picks. The picks are in. I'll get Zach's pick in our group chat. So
okay. Yeah.
Anything
So
else?
I was just gonna say, I know, is there anything in sports stuff? Oh, wait. Yeah, that's I said that already.
I mean, I don't know. We're in the middle of like the NBA stuff is happening. The Bulls are really good.
Are they?
But yeah, the Bulls are kicking ass. Good for them. I mean, I'm not a Bulls fan or anything, so I don't, I don't particularly care how good.
You're a Pacers fan, right?
I was. I don't really care for them either. I'm just more or less like a basketball observer. I don't like.
That's kind of what I've evolved into.
What if they brought back the old Navy pinstripes? Would that do it for you?
That would help quite a bit. The Pacers, unfortunately, have had this fuck around theme for years now. Among the league's worst looks, they just can't. I don't know. I just can't.
The funniest one was their most recent one, where it's like, oh, we're gonna put like subtle, like cornfields on the uniforms.
Oh right,
and it's
I forgot about that.
Whatever. I mean, I honestly I feel like I get sick to my stomach whenever we talk about NBA alternates because it just never ends. It's just gluttony on a uniform.
I made some comment on the CCSLC because I was going over like I decided I was going to post my thoughts on all of the alternates that got released.
And
sadist, yeah.
Yeah. Well, like. And someone replied, it's like I said, I didn't like one of them. I didn't like a lot of them, but someone replies, how did you not know that this references like this Team City edition last year? And it's like, I don't I can't keep track of like 3 new uniforms per team every year. Like Jesus, like God, it's
exhausting.
Yeah, Mike's book on all the new NBA jerseys will be out sometime next spring.
Yeah. There's one chapter, it's just fuck Nike over and over again. So.
like for The Shining, fuck Nike.
Yeah, fuck Nike. I'm just sitting there staring at an orange Orlando Magic jersey, just dropping into madness as I just
I just think that if you're a professional sports league, it might behoove you to put teams in uniforms that I can turn on the TV. If a guy like me or anybody on this show tunes into a game and goes, "Well, wow, who's playing?"
It's even worse than that. If you go to the NBA thread on the CCSLC forums, there are people like long-time members of the board who we would know who are avid NBA fans who have like complained like I turned on this game and I couldn't tell who was playing at first glance. Yeah. Like and these are people who like are fans of the NBA who aren't like us who we check in on the NBA once every other year or something. Like no, these guys like I'm talking about people who like legitimately are into the NBA who watch it regularly, and when those guys are saying I can't tell which team, right? Like you got a problem.
Yeah, we do NBA talk on the even years. So after the first of the year, we might do a little bit again. No, we do, but yeah, we that's what I mean though. You've got, and we're uniform geeks. I think you can put on any NFL game without a scorebook and be like, we know who this is right away. Most college games, maybe not Andy so much because he's not a big college fan, or you, Mike, but Zach and I, if you dropped us in front of a college game without a scorebook, we'd be like, that's Tulsa versus whoever the fuck, Mississippi State or whatever. But NBA, it's just impossible. So
I wanted your guys' feedback on. I just sent you a link, Greg, if you want to share it. It's one of the most impressive goals, perhaps. I don't know if I've ever seen.
The
Connor McDavid.
Connor versus the Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah, he basically took a 4-on-1 and scored a goal. It's
make this big, and then I'll put it out.
Connor McDavid.
Hold on a minute there. Calm down, everybody.
Wow. Okay.
have you seen this goal? This is from probably a week or so ago, Mike. Have you seen this?
Yeah. No, I've seen it. It was.
Here, I have to do it this way.
Connor McDavid has long been a very talented player, but I think this might be like a very special season for him.
Yeah, it's a very special goal.
Assuming the Oilers can keep it up and not.
Is it up?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. All right, let me hit play on it.
They have to use the desperately horny emoji.
Watch this, though. Watch this. This is amazing.
He just takes it back, like, oh, okay.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Excuse me. I will be scoring now. Thank you. Just
yeah, no, that's the shit that's the shit that when you're on like a peewee team as a kid, and there's like one kid who's better than everyone else, like that's the shit that he does. Like, goddamn.
Now, were they on the power play, or did one Ranger player actually get lucky and not get involved in that? That's like a power play.
Go back so you can take a look at the score bug.
No, I don't think so. I think it was 5-on-5.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's.
Oh, there's one of the Rangers is over there shifting on the line. Okay, it was a line.
Yeah, they were caught on shit.
But I love how he just takes it back. He's like, oh no, I'm just gonna take this back, get nice and situated, and then
I will score.
Okay. Yeah,
he beat 5 New York Rangers on that play. It's like,
yeah,
Jesus. Would have been 6, but the other guy didn't get off the bench fast enough.
Yeah,
wow.
At least he didn't do it wearing those shitty Navy alts. You know, like it's.
These aren't great uniforms, but they're better.
They're fine. Yeah. I got to tell you guys. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, just speaking about hockey uniforms. So I've watched a fair deal of hockey on TNT.
Oh yeah.
Because of AEW is on TNT, and usually Dynamite on Wednesdays, the lead into the hockey game. And so I think it was last week. The game on afterwards was Wild Coyotes, and we talked about this. Like I think we talked about this again like last week about how like kind of hilarious it was. That's the game that they were trying to pump up for national TV was Wild Coyotes.
2 hockey teams will play.
Yeah, hockey will technically occur, but as I was watching, but you know, as you know, wrestling was winding down, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna watch Wild Coyotes, if nothing else, because those sweet Kachina uniforms will be on display, right? You know, that 90s Coyotes look that they brought back. I didn't even get that. The Coyotes wore their alternates, which are last year's primaries.
With the wolf head on them and all that?
The red howling coyote, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't even get like the uniform matchup I wanted. It's like, fuck you. Can you do nothing right, Arizona? Like you this fucking shit stain of a franchise. No. Like, just wanted you to wear your good uniforms on national TV. Was that so much to ask?
I just gotta say again though, man, that Leafs Flames game. Oh my god! And then Rangers Flames from like a week before.
Mm. Oh. And yeah. To what Chaos Blast said, like if the Oilers were wearing their Gretzky era like blue jerseys when McDavid scored that goal, that would have been beautiful.
Yeah, but I mean, he scored. I don't even know how you would like. It's like, you know, I think the 4 Rangers guys should get an assist because they, they put in a nice effort and he still scored anyway. So I don't know. That's amazing. I mean, wow, what a player.
Oh yeah,
you were going to say something earlier. What was it? Are you?
No, I was just so the other day, the John Doe to his mother. So the one of the other people in the loss, Brad Aldridge, of the Blackhawks formerly, he did it. There was an interview with his mother on TSN with Rick Westhead, and it was fucking brutal to watch. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it's just one of those things to where like. And I don't want to delve back into the whole Aldridge business, but like people can kind of, you can take an issue like this and kind of reshape it. It's almost like as long as I don't see it, it doesn't exist kind of thing.
Right.
But then you watch something like that and listen to the kid's mother, and it's just like, it's unbelievable how people can find it in themselves to ignore this kind of stuff. And anyway. It continues to validate my decision to box up my Blackhawks shit. And
are you going full steam ahead with the Kraken?
Fuck yeah! Like I've really enjoyed it.
I see you've got one of the Kraken drawings.
The concept is Inky the Fighting Kraken was
Inky the Fighting Kraken, and it's an angry Kraken with a hockey stick.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of debate. A lot of Red Wings fans have been commenting and messaging me about like, hey, you can't use an octopus.
Bullshit.
It's like a kraken is not a defined being. You know, it's
well.
But
I've
again, and then talk to us, Detroit.
I've gone into many arguments about this on the forums. Good seems good excuses. I need to just kind of go over it because I'm a host on the show and I get to do that. And if anyone doesn't like it, then send your emails to idon'tfuckingcare@gmail.com. The Kraken imagery that the team is kind of going off of, that has sort of come about in the mid 20th century is based off of unrelated giant squid sightings. And so, when the Kraken the team starts kind of going into octopus territory, like there is going to be that contingent of people. It's like, whoa, you're supposed to be a squid, not an octopus. And I understand that there's a difference between those animals, but I think that when you're talking about something as conceptual as like a sports team identity, like, are you really going to quibble between an octopus and a squid? Like it's a weird, marine animal with tentacles and a weird bird-like beak that'll freak you out if you see it. So like, you run with it. But the reason why I wanted to get on this and talk about this is that the whole tentacle thing for Kraken has always sort of bugged me because the Kraken is actually its origins lie in Viking mythology. Viking sailors reported it, and in the original mythology of the Kraken, it is actually just supposed to be a very giant fish that can be mistaken for a mountain. Sorry, not a mountain, an island. And so what ended up happening, and so basically they're like, it's this very giant fish. If it, is faced upward in the water with its mouth open, it'll cause a whirlpool that will suck you in. It is this, it is like one of the most terrifying animals of the deep. And then, people have speculated, they're probably just talking about a whale or some shit, whatever. But the point is that at some point in the late 1700s, the myth of the Kraken got conflated with unrelated giant squid sightings, and then they kind of became joined until they made Clash of the Titans and just used a giant squid as a Kraken, and then here we are.
Well, hold on, I thought Clash of the Titans, it was kind of this big, craggy looking Swamp Thing beast that was kind of fishy and more of like a guy in a suit.
Are we talking the original Clash?
No, I'm talking about the Liam Neeson one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was talking about the original one where it was a guy in a suit.
No. In the Liam Neeson one, they went full on into the squid octopus thing.
Well, yeah, and then I think wasn't 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was there a Kraken in that as well? That was a squid.
There was a giant squid. They didn't call it a Kraken.
Okay. Okay.
But no. So I just wanted to nerd out a bit and go the Kraken didn't originally have tentacles. It was like a giant fish, and then it got conflated with other sea shit, and now it's a giant. The point is that, as Andy said, the Kraken is not a defined being, and if it wants to be an octopus, it can be an octopus. And Detroit fans, like everything else, Red Wings fans related, you can all shut the fuck up and go away forever.
I mean, it's not going to take away any, because the Kraken, I think I like the Pirates of the Caribbean Kraken is kind of it's a squid-like thing, but it is kind of just this giant beast.
And then Johnny Depp jumps into it. Yeah,
Johnny Depp just drunkenly meanders around and makes a lot of money off of being a weirdo. But that's I think that the definition of
God
the Kraken
bless America.
Yes, indeed. But whatever. That part of the identity doesn't bother me. I've enjoyed the Kraken. Unfortunately, kind of suck right now, and as I'm immersing myself in their culture, they're doing okay. Mostly bad, but okay.
I mean, I think the Vegas Golden Knights kind of spoiled a lot of people. It's like, we're gonna be good right away, and it's like, no, like the Kraken are going through now is what is what most expansion teams go through. Like, you suck at first, and you got to get good, but you suck at first, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Did the Kraken have the same rules that the
they did. They did. The difference is that between the Knights draft and the Kraken draft, the NHL GMs figured out how to beat the system.
Okay, because I remember back when the Panthers and the Jaguars came into the league, it was kind of a similar situation where they made these really favorable rules for both teams.
Yeah, and then they both got good right away.
Yeah, and I think the Panthers went 9-7 in their first season, and then they were 12-4 and went to the NFC title game in their second year. And then the NFL said that's that. And when they did the second round with Houston and Cleveland for expansion, like no.
Well, the NHL
saw the results.
Well, the NHL specifically wanted these two teams to be good right off the bat because they didn't want another Arizona situation where you have a team that just sucks and can't get any traction. But the problem was that when they first instituted these rules, NHL GMs didn't really know how to deal with them, and so because there were so many unprotected players. The Knights would go, oh, we're thinking about picking this guy, and then the GMs would go, oh, whoa, don't take that star player. We'll offer you a bunch of really good role players to not take that star player, and the Knights filled up on depth that way. Like the Knights had a really, ended up having a really deep, really good team, particularly because they didn't take just a bunch of big names. The teams were afraid of them taking big names, so they gave them a bunch of really good depth pieces. For this go around, the NHL GMs were just kind of like calling the bluff, and it's like, take whoever the fuck you want. We're not going to offer you like extra. And
didn't that, like, one of the guys that they picked the Knights, was it William Karlsson? I think was like had like a career season that year. They went the first year. I think he scored
he did
of what he normally would do. Yeah.
So it didn't really, but I think it's fine. It's really great to see. Atlanta. Chaos Plus is saying, I think you meant Atlanta, Mike. Who? Atlanta.
Not sure what he's referencing.
Oh yeah. But anyway, so I'm just saying, I think it's really nice to see that like just the way that the Kraken fans have kind of taken to it. They've really kind of embraced it, and unlike the Golden Knights, where I kind of hate their fans and the team. Like, I'm kind of rooting for the Kraken, and I guess maybe it's because they've kind of had that bad start where it's like, no, like, this is how expansion is supposed to go. I'm not saying I want them to be bad, but I'm just saying, like, build the team up the right way, the proper way. Get good by developing talent and drafting, and it's going to be really fun in a few years when the team gets good, as opposed to the Golden Knights, who just got handed like a Stanley Cup caliber team from the get-go, and so fuck Vegas, go Seattle. I'm glad you're having a good time with them, Andy.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's nice, mainly because this was kind of a bit of contention when I mentioned I was going to the Kraken on the forums and among other places, that you're going to be. This is a meme team, the Kraken. They're not like.
I mean, to a degree, they are like I had this argument with Gothmite actually on the forums. He's really taken to the Kraken identity, and I remarked, like, this is still a team that is named after a meme. And he's like, the release the Kraken thing has nothing to do with it, and I'm like, guy, come on. Just like,
it has a lot to do with it, but it's not.
Let's all be honest.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, if they had really, like, if every single game they were like, release the Kraken, and they had like nothing but like that kind of hokey shit, like, it would get really old. But they've actually embraced a lot of the dopey stuff,
like the salmon.
Yeah, tossing the different fish, because it's not just going to be salmon. They're going to have like
okay,
different. So as
expensive guys.
What's that?
Since salmon gets expensive, you might want to go with something cheaper.
So like every single fish that they throw out, well, it's going to be all like regional fish, and it has to be the legal size to not throw back. They have it inside of the plushy fish is like a bunch of information about that specific species. And that's,
so it's educational.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. The whole like they play Lithium after every goal, and they have the little guitar string parts for from Smells Like Teen Spirit when they're announcing names. It's really fun. I have no idea how the hell they got any of Nirvana's people to sign off on that, but it's pretty cool.
Well, that's where Nirvana was from, right? They're from the Seattle area. Okay.
Yep. And the all the ice cleaning folks who usually are like dressed in skimpy bikinis and shit, they're wearing like the full like Fisherman's Wharf Pike's Place uniforms with like the overalls.
Oh, I thought they'd come out wearing giant fish outfits.
No. It's that would be actually. I mean, that'd be totally cool too. I'd be totally okay with that. But they don't have a mascot yet. I'm sure they're kicking the tires on that. They definitely need like some sort of alternate uniform, but
not to, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care about getting pervy. This show's done weird before. Like,
yeah.
The problem with Kraken is like if you do a squid or an octopus as the mascot, like the first time that thing gets taken, like a picture taken next to a female fan, you're gonna have like the fucking tentacle porn jokes coming out of the
a little bit.
Yeah, and so.
But then also, but also that kind of defines what the Kraken is to them. So if they were to make it a squid, it would almost be like, okay, well, the Kraken is a squid then, or vice versa with an octopus or something like that. So I feel like they'll probably go more of a vague Seattle probably thing. Maybe they'll do like a big cup of coffee or something that just wanders around. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you know what? Just hire Kelsey Grammer to play Fraser Crane. He's from Seattle.
That'd be good.
Actually, be a good gig. Yeah.
I don't think he's doing anything right now either. So maybe you want to have his agent
toss salads and scrambled eggs.
Yeah, so they didn't make that the goal song though, right?
The Frasier song.
That'd be so fucking obnoxious.
But it would be bad. Yeah.
But their uniforms look really good on TV too. I mean, they're not. They look good anyway, but like on TV especially, it's like
The thing that really makes the Kraken uniforms, I think. And this is more. This is regarding their home ones, the dark blue ones. Is that they resist? Like, I think the uniforms would be much less effective if they had white numbers.
Yes, correct.
And the fact that they went with that like really bright seafoam green number, like it's so good.
Yes, it is.
I have not watched them yet. I have to take advantage of my new ESPN Plus package and check them out.
It's quite good at ESPN Plus.
Yeah. I got a new phone and we got that, and we were already paying for Hulu and Disney, and then we got that. I'm like, well, let's do this for 6 months, and I'll cancel the other ones.
Yeah,
so
they got.
Go ahead.
No, say they play because they're on Pacific. They'll play generally the late game. They'll get featured. So I've seen them on Hulu Plus a couple times now. Just I think because there's just so few West Coast games to choose from any given day, so they'll have whatever game on at 7 and then another game on at 9, and usually Kraken and
because the ESPN Plus has got all the games, right? Like it's basically.
Ron Francis is being a Debbie Downer.
Why? Ron
Francis, the GM of the Kraken, said the team has found a way to lose too often.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, they've been porous both defensively, and their goaltending has been fucking trash lately.
Oh no, Andy.
What?
Wednesday.
What?
Blackhawks Kraken.
Oh yeah, I mean whatever. I that's going to be in Seattle, I think, and I don't care. The Blackhawks, I still follow them just for the sake of doing so. I mean, I still miss them a little, I guess. I don't know. I'm not gonna like go full Blackhawks anytime soon at all. But like, I just kind of follow them to see what's going on. They fired Carlton, which was the good choice. It was just the right thing to do. They've gone on a little mini pathetic winning streak. And
I mean, how did they not fire him when he was like handing the blackboard to players? But like, I don't know, you draw it up.
I think that was also like right smack in the middle of when all this shit came out with the report and all that. So I don't know. I think that it's been weird to watch people and we've kind of gone over this before with Penn State and so forth. People are already starting to go like, we've purged the evil and now we're in the healing state. And it's like, no, we absolutely are not in that state. Fuck you for thinking that. That is drastically wrong. That is not that hasn't even fucking begun necessarily. So I don't know. It's still scummy to hear. The Blackhawks have been really shitty about like not committing to paying for anybody's therapy or anything like that. They're wanting to see all of John Doe 2's like medical records and stuff to like validate. It's really scummy lawyer shit. And part of me goes, I get it. Another part of me is like, you make too much goddamn money to just, be so flippant about needling, nickel and diming this kid. Like, I don't know how many people have gone through your organization in the past, whatever many years, who have been affected by Brad Aldrich and everything he's done. And you're suddenly like scrupulous and crying poor because you have to pay like $300,000 or something to some kid who doesn't have medical insurance. It's just fucking ludicrous. Anyway, that's my rant. That's my TED talk. But it's weird. It's nice being. I'm glad I have a good team, and I feel bad because I came out here and was like, "Yeah, Flames. I'm going to the Flames," and they're actually pretty good this year. They're having a nice season. But I don't know.
But the heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah, I just sort of me and the Kraken locked eyes from across a smoky room, and Kraken looked at me. I looked at the Kraken, and
the Kraken flicked its tentacles seductively, and
kind of like you. It was like a date in a rom-com where you showed up with one woman, but it didn't work out. So you're like, well, hey, what was that movie that like there's like 35,000.
What is that? I don't know. One of the 20 with Hugh Grant and Sandra Bullock.
You show up with, and then like you go, wait a minute, I like this person better. That's all that happened here.
Well, that's like those old, like any of those old movies from like the 40s and 50s where like, I'm engaged to
right,
blah, 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 and then you meet her and she's miserable, and then he goes and, well, I met this poor girl who me and her just dance all night, and I'm gonna that kind of shit. But
there's Andy being like, I've met Inky, we dance all night.
Well, right, yeah, exactly. I got engaged to the Flames, and what was Scorch? I met Scorch the Puck, the fiery puck, and we got engaged too quickly. But then I met the Inky the Kraken, and we kind of just realized we were made for each other. And well, although
beautiful.
I don't live anywhere near Seattle, which kind of sucks because Seattle looks pretty awesome. And
meanwhile, I've still kicked Carlton the Bear, the Maple Leafs mascot, out of the house, and it's.
Speaking of Seattle, Andy, we years and years and years ago, my girlfriend won 2 round trip tickets to anywhere in the continental U.S. And we decided that Seattle. I thought I'd go to Seattle. It's far away. We can really get the most mileage out of it, and I can go see a Mariners game at what was then the new Safeco. What's it called? Their park? I forget.
It's Safeco.
Yeah, I've always known it's Safeco.
All that, see Ichiro play the whole thing, and then wouldn't you know it, like 3 weeks later, 9/11 happens. No. And we weren't so big on the flying all of a sudden. So what are you going to do? But that was where I was going to go with Seattle, just to bring that, just to kind of put a bow on it. Still love to go there. Just
it's expensive. It's a
little cheaper the first time around.
Yeah. I don't have any other sports stuff, guys. I don't have any. I wrote up some trivia type stuff, but I left it at work, so I don't have it for you this week. I'll have it next week
for when Zach's back.
Yeah. So
and speaking of which, I'm hoping the playoffs and all that are going. I know what it's like to work like when you're doing high school sports this time of year. It sucks because you've got, at least here, you have football, volleyball all happening at the same time. And then you're unlucky and you get like 3 or 4 local teams all going on runs in the playoffs. And it's like, fuck me. So he's busy. That's why he hasn't been here in 2 weeks now, right?
No, he was here last week.
Was he?
Yeah.
Was the week before he wasn't here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like every other week situation. We'll see how it goes. Maybe Zach he'll free up next week. And if not, we'll we'll just kind of see what
Well,
happens.
we've got nothing else. We can get out here early tonight. That would be kind of cool. So.
I'm fine with that. I'm out of gas as far as content goes. So if you guys
Me
want
too. Mike, you got anything else?
No, not really.
All right. Well, let's call it a night then. We'll give everybody a half a night off here. Just
All right.
generosity.
Works for me.
Folks, follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Subscribe via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever fine podcasting is sold. Let me vamp for just a second here so I can get the close ready to go. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Latest.